Very good. And as further good news, there's no sermon today from me. Welcome to Jill and Laura.
Good day. Thank you so much for inviting Laura and I here today to talk about where we work, what our passion is for our community. So we are from Te Whāriruku o Otarepo Waltham Community Cottage, a little haven in the suburb of Waltham, 201 Hastings Street East. We're a little villa, but a lot takes place there in a week. We started off in 1991 under Anglican care, but then in true community fashion, we went off on our own and we truly are community-led. We moved to our current site in 1999, and this is a building that was gifted, well, it's not ours, it belongs to the council, but we live there rent-free. And so we can call on them every time something goes wrong. Like recently, they had to replace our kitchen floor, which the borers had got into. But we also look after the building and we do renovations and things, all with their permission. So there we go. As you can see, it's a vibrant place. That is our mission statement of hope and connection, standing tall and reaching all. It's not large, it's like a little home, but everybody loves it. We can move on. There's our kitchen. I love your kitchen, but that's our little kitchen, and from there we can feed up to 135 people in one go. These are our volunteers. Laura and I do all the coordination. We sit in the office, but our volunteers are really the ones that interact with our community. They bring their own skills in. We have the lady that does the cooking, Leanne. She's a trained chef, and she comes in on a Wednesday. And any other functions we have, she does all the cooking for that. And then we also have others that help her in the kitchen. We have, oh gosh, we've got so many people with special skills. But I'll give you a story about one of our volunteers. His name is Peter. He was born deaf and had a really tough upbringing. And he came to the cottage about 3-4 years ago, just popped in one day for a cup of coffee, found it difficult interacting with people, couldn't lip read me because somehow or another South African accents seem to be a little bit different. Not sure why, but he'd speak a lot to Laura, and he's become an integral part of the community. He now is our gardener. He's got a purpose in life. He looks after the gardens, and from this, he's actually got jobs gardening to other people in the community. So yeah, he is such a great guy to have around. Every time something goes wrong, Peter, where are you? Come in, and he does bits and pieces of fixing up. Then we have another two, that's Barry and Cherie, and they come all the way from Allswell. Now, they're trying to find somewhere close by to live because the cottage has become so important to them. Barry has needed to have that connection. So they volunteered after we asked people to be on for 6 months to come to the cottage before they become a volunteer, so that they know what it's all about and whether they feel they can fulfill that role. Well, they couldn't wait for 6 months. They said, please, please, we need to be here.
And move in if they could.
Yes, they'd move in if they could. He actually said to us in December, do you have to close? Do you have to close? We said, we need a bit of a break, you know. And then we also have Kerry. Kerry started coming in. She lives on her own, also has had quite a sad life. And she started coming in, and one day she happened to be there when our foot clinic helpers weren't there, so we said to her, would you mind carrying the water buckets for the people to soak their feet. And from that, we then made her a volunteer. It's now her responsibility. She now runs it. And now she's going to go back to studying. And she wants to do community health and well-being. So, you know, from these small beginnings, a lot comes from it. And then we'll start off with our week. I'll let you actually talk about Monday, seeing I forgot earlier. This is our Monday.
So we have a ukulele group, which is run by Anne McMahon, who actually has a degree in ukulele. I just didn't know that was a thing, but it is, and she's amazing. She also goes and does little concerts around Christchurch for kids and events. So we're really lucky to have her. Got quite a good group that come in for the ukulele as well. There's about 13 at the moment. So every 6 weeks we have a hairdresser come in, and it started off, Cheryl talked to her own hairdresser and she wanted to give back, so thought that she might come and do a hair cutting day. So every 6 weeks she comes in and cuts everyone's hair, and we charge $5, which all goes back to her, Sharon, because she has to come all the way from Oxford. So it's a bit of a drive, but everyone's got to know her and she's got to know the community, and it's a really nice day. Also on a Monday, we have our seniors book clinic. We're about 30 sometimes. Seniors come in and they get their feet soaked and toenails cut. They have a cup of tea, coffee and a chat. So it's quite lively with that many people in and out, and then we've got some volunteers that run it. So yeah, I'm glad it's only every 6 weeks. Big day. Good fun. Tuesday mornings we have a craft group which came along with one of our volunteers. Fitu has a real knack for crafts, so she makes different ornaments, decorations, things like that, and so she came in to do every Tuesday morning. So she used a lot of the glitter foam board and makes just some amazing things with it, and she's even going to start her own business with her crafts, so it's really good she can practice on us. And in the holidays we also run some craft things for the kids, so it's nice to have something for them to do as well. So we've done our dream catchers, we made little pine cone birds, as you can see up there, and then yeah, everyone gets really into it, so it's good. In the afternoon on a Tuesday we have a SAGO, which is Steady As You Go, and that is an age concern program which is for older adults with stability. So that's a really good group as well. We don't have a huge space to fit everyone, but we try and get in as many people as we can. It's lovely. So Wednesday is our crazy day at the cottage. Always good fun though. We have our first lunch back, we had over 40 people come, and we didn't even advertise it, just word of mouth. Usually around 35, 40 every Wednesday for lunch. So lucky we've got lots of volunteers and people that come on board to help out. And also on the Wednesday we have people that come in early. There's a guy, Rob, who plays his guitar, and he started to do some lessons with some of the other people there. Also a couple of guys play cards and do board games. So it's become like a real little event on the Wednesday, you know, more than just the lunch. So really, yeah, it's my favourite day anyway. There's always so much going on and everyone's in a great mood, especially with food. That Wednesday afternoon is our men's group. So we originally had a men's group a few years ago, and the guys, it was quite small, and the guys would go out and do outings, but then it like fizzled out a bit and people retired and went to retirement homes and things. So a couple of years down the track, on a Wednesday for lunch, we'd have a lot of men come in. They all got together and decided they'd like to resurrect the men's group. And so now we've got about 15 guys that get together, and they've started going on outings. They have a couple of cars they use and share the travel. And already this year they've been to the Air Force Museum and out to Avery House. We've got one of our volunteers, Michael, who's 81, He's really gung-ho. He's just started the whole thing up and gets all the guys together, gets the coffee and tea and food ready and planning all the places they're going to go for the year. So yeah, it's so nice when people just get really into it. And on a Wednesday afternoon in term time we have our guitar lessons. So Matt Hall comes in and teaches guitar to children, usually 8 to 13 sort of age, and yeah, a lot of them, it's because it's free lessons as well, and we have guitars, so a lot of kids wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. And we have a nice story about one of our first guitar kids who started when he was 8 years old, Isaiah, and then now he's 20, and after doing all the lessons with Matt, he's gone on to make a Spotify album. So he's done really well, and it all started with love of music through free lessons, so it's great to hear. So Thursday mornings, all about exercise, well-being and wellness. We all started off last year with the City to Surf. A few people showed some interest and we got a bit of funding and took 25 people to do the City to Surf, which was great. So there's a lady in a wheelchair and everyone just gets involved, so it was really cool. And then since then we've started doing a walking group on a Thursday, and then in the winter when it's a bit colder we'll stay in our spare room at the back, and we've got a lot of gym equipment, so we do dances, or we might do Zumba, yeah, lots of different fun things, and everyone seems to get involved. It originally started as a women's wellness group, and then all the guys, I think, got a bit jealous, and so now they come in there as well and do all the exercises. So it's really, yeah, good fun. And once a month, so once a month we have our seniors afternoon tea, group about 10 to 15 seniors come in, and the group's been going on for
Many years.
Yeah.
About 20 years.
Yeah, so it's always just few come and go, and we do games, we have quizzes, we have speakers come in, sometimes people from the community come and play music, we'll just have a chat, and we have all of our volunteers on board that come in and help out with coffee and tea and chatting, making a nice meal for them, so it's a good group. And then in the first Thursday of the month, or last Thursday of the month, we have a games afternoon, and people from the community said they would really like to do some bingo and different games. So what we did was organise everyone to donate a can of food or a food item, and then that goes in for the big prize at the end, so there's no money involved. But it gets people all together, having a bit of fun. I think we're doing a quiz next time, which will be really fun. So, and then some of our other volunteers have decided, one lady with Down syndrome, George, has decided she's going to run the games because she loves quizzes. So her and her support worker Sam are now doing our quiz games afternoon. So it's nice that everyone gets involved and joins them.
And then we've just put on here, this is our end of year Christmas party. And we used to get about 80 to 90 people, and last year we had 135. It blew us away. Thank goodness we had enough food, but just enough. And we have an emergency food cupboard. We don't put it out there to the community, but we, St. Martin's Presbyterian Church and Beckenham Church, they donate food to us weekly. And that goes in our cupboard, and whatever's left over at the end of the year, and other donations that come in, we put hampers together, and this last year we managed to put 16 hampers together. And then as you arrived for the Christmas party, you got a ticket, and if it was drawn out, you would get a hamper. But what Laura was saying earlier, the 8 o'clock service, what we find is, even with the bingo day, that whoever wins like the big prize of all the fruit and veg and the cans and these hampers, they share it out amongst each other, and that's what's so important. That's what community is all about, being together and sharing. But I have to tell you one story. We have a dear lady, Melba. Melba's been coming to the cottage for as long as it's been going, 30 odd years. She used to have a car, then she went down to a bicycle. It's a worry. She turned 90 last week. She'd forgotten she was turning 90. She'd forgotten her birthday. She'll visit us 3-4 times a day on her bicycle. And when COVID came out, she arrived. She was the first person Laura and I tested. We could hear at lunch when she blessed the food, she wasn't sounding too great. So we tested her and she had COVID. And I can still remember, we were shaking, you know, it was in the early days when you were terrified of it.
She said, "Oh, what's COVID?"
She had heard nothing about COVID because she doesn't listen to the radio or TV. So we sent her home. He said, now you've got to go home and you've got to look after yourself, and made sure she had enough food because she doesn't cook. And home she went. The next day, she was back on her bicycle. And we had to say to her, we'll get the police to come and keep you in your house. But that was just, to her, she didn't understand it. She wasn't feeling great, but she needed to be back there because that's where she feels at home. So, yeah. And we do lots of other things. We have Matariki celebration where our guitar children and the ukulele group perform, and we have lovely Kai, and everybody comes together. We put stars all over our veranda, and we have treasure Easter hunts. We have all sorts of other things that would go on. Any celebration. Last week we had a big birthday party for Melba and 2 other people. So yeah, it's all about community. We're community led. If the community don't want something and we sort of impose it on them, it will not work. So it's what comes from them is what we try and provide. So thank you. And thank you so much for your donation to us last year. It went into our supporters fund, which is for helping people, and none of that goes in operational, only goes into supporting people in the community. And from that, we help people with school uniforms. If somebody needs an ambulance and they cannot afford to pay for it, we will pay for it. Pays for our free guitar lessons, and it pays for incontinence supplies for somebody who's disabled, all those type of things that people just can't afford because it's over and above their daily